Hello, 10th grade, it's Miss White again. Uh, Today we get to keep talking about the Industrial Revolution, but first I have a very sad announcement. Um, my doctors have said with the ongoing epidemic, they recommend I do not return to work until after spring break. What that means is I won't see you guys until April, which sucks, and I'm very sorry, but we are following what the Department of Health and the CDC recommend for people with autoimmune diseases. So it is what it is. This is what our classes are going to look like, is our short video activity online assignment kind of format. And anyway, this is a picture of my sole companion in the daytime now, my cat, Stan. I would much rather be hanging out with you guys. But in any case, we are still going to get to talk about the Industrial Revolution. Let's get to that, shall we? You are all going to need your laptops, so get them out. Get them out. If you don't have one, first of all, shame on you. Secondly, get out a piece of paper, but you are going to have to type this eventually. Get out paper, get out a laptop. You are going to have to type everything eventually, so if you have a laptop, get it out. Alright. So, for the Industrial Revolution, y'all took a pretest yesterday, and I have to say, y'all did pretty excellent on it. You remember a whole lot about it, so there is not actually a ton we have to cover. I am looking to spend the rest of this week on it and then be able to move on. So y'all definitely understood what life in factories was like, what some of the effects of urbanization are, some of the history as far as where it began and things like that. Y'all got all of that down. I saw 3 major areas where we still need some work. And those are some of the actual specific inventions in technology. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Then in our block period, we're going to talk about social changes brought about by industrialization. And this is Friday, but y'all aren't in school Friday, so it's actually Monday. On Monday, we're going to talk about Karl Marx, socialism, labor movements, and all that. So we have about 3 more days on Industrial Revolution, and then that's it. So, for today, getting into actual inventions in technology. And here's where you need to start taking notes. Okay, there were 6 classes of inventions. And I'm using the word invention kind of loosely here. But there's 6 classes of inventions we need to know about during the Industrial Revolution. For the moment, I just want you to type each of these classes down, each of these names. So, type them out, get all 6. 1. What I'm just going to call the building blocks. And there's 2 big inventions in here. There's the factory system, and then the blast furnace. The furnace you end up using to power everything else. So, class 1 that you should write down, building blocks. Factory system, blast furnace. Feel free to pause this video if you need, as usual. Second class of inventions, communication type inventions. Things that let you communicate with other people faster, easier, more accurately, etc. So, class 2, communication. Third class of inventions, energy. What makes power? What transports the power? And so on and so forth. So, different kinds of energy production, different kinds of power plants. All we need to write down for the moment is energy. That's our third class of invention. Fourth class, agriculture. Agriculture itself seems like it's been the same since the beginning of time. That is not true at all. In particular, during the Industrial Revolution, there were a whole bunch of inventions that made agriculture much easier, that made it so that fewer people could create more food. So our fourth class of inventions we're going to look at is related to agriculture. There's our first four. Our fifth, can't really see my hands, sorry. The fifth is textiles, and a lot of folks don't really know what textile means anymore. That means clothing and fabric. So a textile factory is going to spin cotton into thread, take thread and make it fabric, possibly even take that fabric and make it into clothing. Textiles were some of the first and most important factories. So there's our fifth category or class you should have written down. Our last one is transportation. We made all these new goods, but you had to get them to whoever wanted to buy them. So we also invented these new methods of transportation. Pause this video if you need. Make sure you have all 6 of these things written down. All right, ready to go? Here's where it gets a little bit complicated. It looks more complicated than it really is, though. Y'all have done this before. Each table group is going to fill out notes about one of those 6 categories. You just wrote down 6 categories. So, for example, one group you're going to talk about communication. One group you're going to talk about energy. And so on and so forth. Every group gets one. I have 7 table groups, so that means that 2 of my smaller table groups will do the same one. So each group gets 1 category of inventions. Your group's job is to look up those classes, those categories. I want you to look up 2 to 3 inventions that were created during the Industrial Revolution in that category. What that's going to look like is I would search something like this: Inventions, Industrial Revolution, Communication. Inventions, Industrial Revolution, Textiles. I would look up something like that just with keywords and find just the names of a few different inventions from this era that have to do with your category of inventions. Important note, whichever group is doing the building blocks, you already have your 2 inventions, the factory system and the blast furnace. You already know your 2 inventions, so you need to go a little more in depth in what they are. Alright, so we have 1 step so far. Look up 2 to 3 inventions. Step 2, explain what they are. This part you should be writing in your notes. So if your category is communication, under communication you're going to write 2 inventions, explain what they are, and explain their effects. How did this invention impact the world, change the world? Invention, purpose, effects. Your group is filling out just one of these 6 classes, all those notes. In just a second, we're going to pause the video and give you guys a chance to research these answers, look them up on the internet, explain what this invention was, what its purpose was, and what effect it had. So, starting right now, you have 15 minutes. Fill out information on just one of these categories of inventions. 15 minutes. Go. Welcome back. Here's the last part of our class today. You have filled out in-depth information about one of these categories of inventions. You only had to look really in depth at one. Now you're going to get notes from other folks that read about other things. So it is your job to stand up in a second, find people who researched a different set of inventions, and talk to them about it. You do not have to write every word they wrote. In fact, I don't want you to. I want you to share a basic summary of your class or your category of inventions. Fill in those blank parts in your notes and move on to find a different person who has different notes. So this is going to involve a lot of moving around. Please get your backpacks out of the aisles and watch where you're going. But your goal is to end up with notes on each of those 6 different categories or classes of inventions. One section is going to be really long and detailed. That's the one your group researched together. But the others should just be summaries of what do you talk about with the people who researched other sections. When you're done, just like everything else, you're going to turn in these type notes in the Power School Dropbox. I'm going to show you how to get there. Then you can pause this video and get back to work. So, you should take 6 different sections of notes. You should go to activities, assignments. There's going to be something that says Inventions and Technological Advancements Notes. You turn that in there and then you are good to go. I know I have a lot of folks who are currently staying home because either they are ill or they have family members who are immunocompromised. If that sounds like you, I want you to just write in a quick summary of what kind of inventions were there in each of these and turn in your notes to the same spot. So we should have communications, summary, transportation, summary, etc. for all 6 of them. One section of notes should be detailed. The other 5 can be summaries. I hope that is clear. If not, as always, shoot me an email. And in the meantime, wash your hands, take care of each other, respectful, honest, safe, and I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow in video and April in person.